My name is Augustus Casey. I'm 42 years old. I live in Salt Lake City. Andrew is a good friend of mine, and I'm excited to do this interview.
Welcome everyone to an interview with a good friend of mine, someone who's been willing to share his experience with his access to dental care. Is an interview for real voices, for real patients with real outcomes and real experiences. And so, without further ado, I just want to introduce my friend. Do you want to share your name and who you
Yeah,
are?
my name is Augustus Casey. I'm 42 years old. I live in Salt Lake City. Andrew is a good friend of mine, and I'm excited to do this interview.
Awesome. We're delighted to have you on. Thanks for joining us. So, a little bit about your background. Tell us where you were born and where you grew up.
I was born in Alexandria, Louisiana. I grew up in Alexandria, Louisiana, also a city of like 40 to 50,000 people, about 3 to 4 hours from Houston and about 4 to 5 hours from New Orleans.
Oh wow. Okay. So country.
Yes.
So for someone who's never been there, you've kind of given like distances to some of the major cities around. What was it like growing up in Alexandria?
Country living, slow living, small community. Um, Everybody knew each other, you
Hmm.
know. There was at least three generations that grew up on the street that I grew up on, from my grandparents to my mom to us. So a small community.
Oh wow. So if you were born there, then you were probably going to live the rest of your life there. It sounds like there was multiple generations.
Yes.
Okay. And so what was your family dynamic like? Sounds like you were with your mother and your grandmother as well.
Yeah, my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather, my mom and dad divorced, but my mom got remarried.
Okay.
So it was a blended family situation.
Okay. And so thinking about your memories of your childhood and growing up, can you recall your earliest experience with visiting a dentist and what was that like?
Yeah, I remember I started off with a toothache. I was about 7 or 8 years old. And I had some swelling on my lower gums. And it took my mom a few days to take me to the dentist. But once I got to the dentist, they found that it was an abscess, and they did what they needed to do and resolve the situation.
Okay. So you said that it took a few days. What was the reservation or what was the hesitation?
I, I think the reservations were money at the time,
Okay.
um, and also my stigma as a child with dentistry. You know, everybody knows that, oh, the dentist hurts and it makes it worse, and oh, it's a painful thing to go to the dentist. So that was my reservation. And I think my parents' reservation was money because we had no dental insurance.
Ah, gotcha. So this dentist that you went to, was it someone that your family had known? Was it someone that you knew before? Or was it just someone who was nearby?
I think it was just somebody that was nearby,
Ah,
because I believe that was my first trip to the dentist.
oh, okay. Good. And so you went in with the abscess tooth, experiencing pain in your teeth.
Mm,
What was the outcome of that?
I don't remember what procedure they did, but I do remember after the fact, I think I was on some type of antibiotic after they did whatever they did.
Mhm.
And about 4 to 5 days later, I was good as new.
Okay. Awesome. So it sounds like you got the care that you needed.
Correct.
So were you, you were sharing how, people were saying, oh, when you go to the dentist, it hurts. Or if you go to
Right.
the dentist, it makes it worse. Do you think those
Right.
are true?
Um, as a kid, I didn't know because I didn't have frequent dentist visits. But as an adult, I know that that's not true now.
And so after that visiting of the dentist, were there other dentists that you went to visit as well? Did you go back to the same dentist after that?
I don't think I ever went back to the dentist as a child after that. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think your experience was any different than? your neighbors or your family members there
No,
with
I
visiting
think
the dentist?
everybody thought the same. I think it wasn't a regular thing for most people where I grew up, um, unless you had insurance, you know.
Did you know of anyone that had insurance growing up in Louisiana?
Um, Actually, I didn't, and if they did, I didn't know they had insurance.
Yeah. Usually the adults worry about that kind of stuff, but
Right,
I'm just
right,
curious as a child, maybe sometimes you hear some things.
right.
So how long did you stay in Alexandria?
I stayed in Alexandria until I was about 14 or 15 years old.
Oh, and then where did you move to then?
We moved to New Mexico,
Oh wow, that's quite a
Gallup,
transition.
Mexico to be exact.
Oh wow. And so you were 14, 15 years old at that time.
Correct.
So how do you compare New Mexico with Alexandria?
It's very, very different. The people are different. The cultures are different. Um, but I liked it.
Okay. What was the reason that took you there?
My father, my stepfather, went to New Mexico to help his father with the construction business that he owned.
Ah, okay. And so how was that experience for you? You're in high school.
Well, I
Comparing.
had some getting along issues with the kids there because of the culture change.
Hmm.
Um, but it eventually worked out.
Okay. You were able to settle in
Yes,
and get acclimated with the people. They were different.
yes.
So when you were in New Mexico, was there a dentist that you were able to visit there? Any tooth pains or any episodes
You
like
know
that
what?
that brought you in?
I started going to the dentist regularly because our financial situation changed. We got insurance, and life started to be a little bit better. So I was able to have more frequent visits to the dentist.
Awesome. So do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have two sisters and one brother.
Okay. And are they older, younger than you?
I'm the oldest, and they're younger.
Oh, okay. Nice. Would you say that their experience with dentistry was similar to yours growing up?
Yes, I would have to agree. I think growing up in Louisiana, none of us went to the dentist. I remember the only oral care education that I received was from like school, where people would come to school and the big toothbrush, and they would tell you how to brush and tell you how to floss. And that was my only dental education. But once we moved to New Mexico, it got a little bit better, and we actually started going to dentists on a regular basis.
Oh, nice. So from New Mexico, did you continue your education? Did you finish high school? Did you continue on?
Finished high school, went to the University of New Mexico, worked at the University of New Mexico,
Oh, wow.
and then eventually moved to Salt Lake City, where I reside today.
Oh, great. So when you were in New Mexico as an employee, now you're providing for yourself, or were you still providing for your family? What was the
Correct. I was providing for myself.
Okay. And then did you continue seeing a dentist after being employed at the University of New Mexico?
Yes, I did.
And was that something that was natural for you to find, or was that something that?
Oh yeah, it was something natural because after we moved to New Mexico, I saw the importance of dentistry, and I wanted to keep my teeth healthy and clean, and just have a beautiful smile.
Yeah. And what you do, I see those
Thanks.
pearls. So you from New Mexico, you moved over to Salt Lake City, you said?
Correct.
Awesome. And then you mentioned that's where you're living and that you have a little family.
Yes, correct.
Okay. When you moved to Salt Lake City, did you find a dentist right away, or did it take a while?
Oh no, I found a dentist right away.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is a real priority for you to establish.
Yes.
care with
Yes, it is.
regular care with a dentist. That's great.
Right.
And so perhaps you're taking in your children in with you as well.
Yes, of course. Yes. Yep.
So are they seeing a general dentist? I assume you're seeing a general dentist. Are they seeing a general dentist, or are they going to a pediatrician?
They're said a general dentist. It's a kid's dentist, so I don't know if that would be a kid's pediatrician, but I think it's a general dentist.
Oh, okay. Is it the same dentist that you will see?
No.
Oh, okay. And then your wife, does she see the same?
She also sees my same dentist. Yes.
Okay, great. So you're pretty educated. You've pretty well put together. You're financially stable. You've got real life experiences behind you, and you have your family. How do you think that has attributed to your overall oral health?
I think just being educated on things in general helps with priorities in your life, like doctor's visits, dentist visits, and just overall health in general.
If you were to think about your dentist and they were listening in right now, is there a certain message that you would share with your dentist?
Well, I would like to say I love the hospitality aspect of it. I love the way that he makes me feel comfortable. He's the type of dentist that walks you through every step of what's going on. He's making suggestions, and it doesn't come off as just like a money grab, as some dentists may come off as.
Hmm.
And, I really appreciate the treatment, you know.
Great. You mentioned that perhaps there's been a dentist in the past where it sounded like it was a money grab with the
Yeah,
recommendations.
where they just seem like they come up with a bunch of different things that they say you may need, but then if you go and get a second opinion, the other dentist is like, you don't need this. It's not a priority.
Hmm. Interesting. So you will establish care with a primary dentist, and then you'll also seek a second opinion.
Well, at first, that's what I was doing, especially when it was something that was maybe expensive.
Awesome. Could you share with us uh, perhaps an experience that's stuck out in your mind when you've seen a dentist in the past?
I don't think anything sticks out more than any others.
Well, it sounds like the first one was probably the most traumatic.
Yes, it was. It was. It was.
Well, sometimes it takes those experiences to serve like a wake-up call.
Right. Correct. Correct.
And I think that's great that you're able to establish, get more in a financially stable environment when you move to New Mexico, and continue that on right now, and you're growing your family. You've got a young
Right.
family. I love that. Thanks for sharing your experience with us, Casey.
All right. Thank you, Andrew.
All right.
All right.